Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? I meant to make this video like January 1st or January 2nd, kind of like a year in review, like what was 2024 like. And originally I was going to make different ones for RPGs and music, but I figured, what the heck, I'll just put them in one and you can suffer through it because it won't be all that long. As far as RPGs are concerned, I didn't have an awful lot of activity. I got to play in the excellent campaign by my friend Anthony, which has been going on, I think, it's almost a couple of years. I forget exactly how long. The Turn of a New Leaf, Call of Cthulhu 6th edition campaign, which is a lot of fun. And I forget how many sessions I actually played in, but it's always been a lot of fun and, a great time. And because of our various schedules, sometimes we can't make it work for vast stretches of time, but lots of fun. The other thing is I got to run Dark Age of Man, by Jason and Dell, and that was a neat experiment that our Thursday night group did. And then other than that, I ran a kind of like failed experiment with one group of people, which, because sometimes that happens, and it was too bad, but they were enjoyable people. But I think there were reasons why it didn't end up working, outside of just some time constraints. My dog is upset at the cat, I think. And anyhow. And what else did I end up playing in or run? I ended up playing, we played a couple sessions of Hex that Jim ran, and then just things got a little kind of crazy for all of us. So that was a year in reviews with RPGs. And I did get involved in some discussions with people that I hadn't talked to before. Some of them bore fruit, and some of them did not really bear fruit. And, we'll leave it at that. As far as music was concerned, it was a very, very active year. Probably one of the reasons why I wasn't so active with RPGs. I ended up actually having 89 gigs last year, which is great. I think I had 80 the year before in 2023. And I would have told you if somebody asked me, how many bands would you work with? I said, well, maybe like 10 or 15. But I looked back through my records, and it was 28. I actually just played bass for 11 bands, just did sound for 11 bands because I started doing sound this year again. And for 6 bands, I did both at least once, where I was doing both at the same time. And so thank goodness for wireless, because that makes that possible. But it's been a lot of fun. I got to work with a lot of great people. Some of them were just like one-off, like, hey, we need a guy. Can you please come help us? And some of them were very last minute, where I had to cram, hey, I'm trying to make a video here. And learn a bunch of songs, which is always fun to do, and it's a good exercise to figure, well, how am I going to learn these? How am I going to make notes for these? And it's definitely helped my song analysis skills quite a bit, learning all these this past year. The only interesting thing that it's done is very often I do an awful lot of my practicing listening in the car, because generally, if I know how what a song sounds like, I can sort of commit it to memory just because I've heard it a bunch of times, and so usually I can play it. And so generally what I was listening to in my car at any given time was what I have to learn or remember for the next gig with the next band, and sometimes there was a few in a week. And those times when I didn't have something coming up, I found myself kind of wondering, well, what do I listen to now? What do I actually like? What do I want to listen to? And sometimes I just went with silence. Hey, I'm trying to make this video. Oh, he's mad because there's a little cage or fence, rather, that he can't get in the room. Anyhow, what was your year like? That's what mine was like. It was a lot of fun, and 2025 is looking to be pretty good too.